Welcome to the Bleav Podcast Network SoCal Sweat. My name is Anne McDaniels, a former NFL cheerleader and product manager turned actress and model who dreams of being a UFC fighter. Meow. Learning strategies to help motivate others leads me to bring you interviews each week from a range of athletes, experts in fitness and nutrition, and so much more. Thanks for listening to Bleav, the #1 podcast for working professionals, and let's push our endorphins to higher performance through SoCal Sweat. This is your host, Anne McDaniels of SoCal Sweat. And in this episode, I can't wait to introduce my friend Egan Jackson's journey of very successful weight loss. Now, battling the bulge with adversity and life circumstances can be very difficult for people who struggle with weight. Not only is it tough to lose pounds, but it's even more challenging to keep them off for good. In this episode, student physical therapist Egan Jackson, my friend, will share the journey of his highly impressive 85-pound weight loss through the adversity, challenges, setbacks, genetics, and all the methods he used for success. Before I introduce Egan Jackson, I want to just highlight some of the things that we were not able to discuss in the interview. Now, people have to overcome certain genetic adversity, just like Egan. Egan's father is a type 1 diabetic, while his mother is a type 2 diabetic. Egan was also raised on a heavy Filipino home-cooked diet, which, although delicious, can be very, very heavy and high in calories. He became complacent after dropping out of high school to hang out with friends that really didn't elevate him. He began smoking, drinking, consuming fast food, drinking lots of soda, not really working out, although if he did, it would just be here and there, and his weight went all the way up to 296 pounds. That was his heaviest. And finally, weight was affecting his breathing, because I asked him, how did you get so sick of it? What did you do? What was the turnaround point? Well, he said he simply couldn't breathe anymore. It affected his sleep, it was affecting his basketball game, and his girlfriend, now his beautiful wife, and he has a lovely, gorgeous daughter, she really believed in him, and she knew he could improve greatly. But the thing is, he had to make the decision. How bad did he want it? He had to finally put the work in, and he succeeded. Fast forward, I asked him how he really did it, especially with the clean eating. He tried many types of diets, incorporated weight training, he added more cardio via running, basketball, and swimming, and he hates running, but he does it anyway. He cut out the alcohol and soda and the fast food. But what does he eat every day? What's a typical day for Egan to keep off this weight? Well, he said that for breakfast, he usually has 2 to 3 egg whites and sometimes with oatmeal. He snacks on apples and a very small handful of trail mix. His lunch typically consists of chicken breast and salad with balsamic vinaigrette, and about the same for dinner, but often swapped out with fish. And sometimes he'll add brown rice for a little bit of added carb. And he has a bit of a sweet tooth, so to take off the edge, he will allow himself 1 to 2 pieces of candy. Not like a big candy bar, but just like a Reese's peanut butter cup that's really small. And during this time, I asked him, was it always easy? You had to have had setbacks. And absolutely, he did admit to having 3 to 4 setbacks, but after a while, he really got his groove. And like he said, kind of to quote Kobe Bryant, he puts in the work and he does the things that he doesn't want to do. He does the hard stuff. Egan continues to succeed, and we both hope that his journey can inspire others. And here is Egan Jackson. Egan Jackson! Woo! We put applause. So as I said in the introduction, Egan Jackson is one of the student assistants at my physical therapy office, and they have changed my life. And the minute I met him, they're on rotations. He's in his last week, I'm very sad to say. He is so focused, so on point, and sometimes people are like on other patients. Egan explains things to the max, and I knew the minute I saw him there was something special. I can spot talent and motivation, and there was just something, there was like a prowess and fire about him that I was really curious about, and I was just so excited to meet him. And he has so many things to talk about, so many things to bring to the table, but first and foremost would be his unbelievable weight loss journey of taking it off and keeping it off, which is, as we know, very difficult. Hello, Egan.
Hello, and geez, so many kind words. I am very humbled. Thank you so much for all those kind words.
Well, if I could, absolutely, it's if that's just easy, because if I can just say, one of my favorite shows has always been The Biggest Loser. I love seeing people improve. However, that show, although very successful, is so super unrealistic, and they lose a lot of weight. However, they're on a ranch. They've got nutritionists. They've got the proper sleep patterns. They have people on them all the time for nutrition and for weightlifting and cardio, everything. You did not have that. And could you please share with the audience your starting weight, ending weight, and how much you lost?
Well, my biggest weight was 296, but all of that happened because at one point I just basically let myself go. In high school, I was athletic, football, basketball. You know, I stayed in between like the 190, 210 mark. And I was cool, you know. Then a few years after high school, you know, things happen. You get comfortable, you get complacent, you know, and I just gained so much weight. And I was smoking cigarettes at the same time. And it was just not a healthy lifestyle. Yeah, so yeah, so one day I just basically woke up and was like, yo, I gotta change my life. Like, I was just breathing heavy. It was just unbearable. And yeah, started playing basketball again, little by little, just started. Yeah, so I just, little by little, I got back into it. I was playing basketball, and then got into lifting weights little by little, and just started my journey from there.
Amazing. But can we go into your background? I mean, some people are raised with parents who are athletes or doctors, and they just grow up in an environment with healthy food, a really high socioeconomic status. I came from a single parent mother, and I know the struggles that we had and how costly food can be and things like that. What was your background, and what knowledge did you have or not have coming into everything?
I didn't have any type of nutrition background coming from a mom who's a Filipino. So if you know about Filipino moms, like, and Filipino food, like, it's not the most healthiest food in the world, you know. And I did not have any nutritional background, athletic background. Like, my mom was immigrant from the Philippines who was a nurse, you know. So like, I took everything upon myself to achieve, like, knowing about athleticism, knowing about sports, knowing about different types of nutrition. Like, as I grew older, I made it a task to learn about all that stuff.
Sure. Did she cook? Was it Filipino cooking at home, or was it takeout?
There was a lot of Filipino cooking at home.
Okay.
A lot. She loved to cook. And adobo, her adobo is like amazing. It's like one of the best adobos in the world. All my friends love it. Like, they they come over and ask just for that. So
that sounds delicious.
Special requests.
So then, did you grow up also on snacks, and like after school, did you eat Cheetos and soda? Like, where did you go from wonderful home cooking cuisine, although it wasn't the lowest in calories, it was still home cooking, to other things? Fast food?
Like any kid, like, you're gonna eat like chips and snacks and everything that's bad for you. So yeah, I was definitely one of those kids, and I was a spoiled little brat. My mom allowed me to pretty much eat and do whatever I wanted. So like, I was a little pudgy butt, like, snacking on everything that was in sight.
You were a cute little pudgy butt. That's okay. So that's very normal, and kids do that. But you also, and even though you did play basketball and things like that in high school, like you said, After that, you got complacent, which many, many people do. I mean, everyone gains the freshman 15, freshman 20, sometimes freshman 100. So that is also, we enter that young adulthood and we make those decisions, and it's much, much easier and much more fun to go out with friends. And were you a drinker also? I know I was.
Oh yeah, that definitely was. I was pretty much drinking at one point, like for 4 months straight, like almost every day, like going out and drinking, like that also took a toll on me and was a part of that weight gain, definitely so.
But at that time, it's fun, it's social. You're not gonna be a boring person, be like, oh no, I've got to work out. At that point, your friends are everything to you because you're away from the roost, and it's just like you're kind of regaining your adulthood. So with that, and like you said, when you drink all night, then you're hungover, and then you either look for hair of the dog.
Yeah, you want that hot meal, that greasy meal.
Greasy
that's just
breakfast.
not great for you, yes.
Yep.
Definitely.
And you sleep in, so that means you're not getting ample sleep or circadian rhythm properly. So you said that you just woke up one day. Was there anything were you turned down by a girl maybe, or did you see a picture of yourself where you're like, oh no? Like, what was the catalyst besides just waking up?
I mean, the biggest part was like I literally woke up huffing and puffing, feeling like I was gonna die. Yeah, but I mean, I would say the catalyst would probably be going through like a tough breakup at the time. That had to be a big part of it. Like almost every person goes through that.
Mm-hmm.
But I prevailed through that, and here I am now.
But you could have gone into abyss of further, because then you could have gotten depressed, and then you could have eaten your feelings and drank your feelings, and that would have been a worse situation. But you flipped that at that point. You probably just got sick of it.
Yeah, definitely so. It was a rude awakening, to say the least. Yeah.
Maybe part of the breakup, obviously none of my business, was maybe the fact that you had started dating her, and then she saw you get complacent, and she's like, well, this is not the Egan that I dated in the beginning, which can happen in a lot of marriages and dating situations where people just get comfortable. Again, you don't need to go up as to why you broke up.
No. It's all good. It was. I mean, part of it was that, but most of it was just being complacent. Yeah.
Sure. And it's easy to do, especially when you don't really know where you're going in life, as far as like that. Those are hard ages, like 19, 20, 21. You pick a marriage major and things may not work out, or you just get sick of school, or, we're not all studious at that point, driven, focused. I changed my major like 4 times and came full circle. So
I didn't even know what I really wanted to do till my late 30s. Not late, early 30s, I should say. Like,
sure. That's totally normal. Totally normal.
Yeah, like it's crazy because I didn't know what I wanted to do up until my mother, I guess, had her stroke.
Yeah.
And it made me choose this career path, because I had to be her physical therapist. I had to be her speech therapist. I was the one with her throughout all that. And part of that is why I also shifted like my focus on my health and myself. Like, I just had to level up, like it just wasn't healthy and safe anymore. And I was being selfish and not thinking about anybody else, so I had to prioritize things and just bottle it up and push through.
Well, you had to become an adult pretty quickly to take care of your mom. And we'll get back to the weight loss, but that's another thing that I was really drawn to you for, because I did ask you why you went into physical therapy and your story of the stroke. And you learned through your mother's home healthcare aides and speech therapists and physical therapists that's something you really wanted to do. And you kind of emulate those workers and learn from them at that point?
Oh yeah, definitely. And immediately I knew it was something I mean, a big part of why I chose this career path was because of that. Another part was, like I told you before, one of my good friends, he's a kinesiology major, and like he would pretty much use me as a dummy and work on me and stuff. And like he would always be explaining stuff about the human body and like how I should have my posture and do this and do that. And I was just like, yo, like
you paid attention.
Cool. Yeah, like you sound pretty cool saying some of that stuff. Like I know I could do that because I do like fitness and I do like helping people. At the time, I just didn't know how to correlate the two. So, you know, put two and two together, and like now I'm here doing physical therapy.
Major turning point. That's wonderful. And that's also with patient care. I mean, you could be good at fitness and you could be very academic and do the school that you're doing, but it takes another level of patient kindness, patient understanding.
Definitely.
Like I can't stand myself when I'm at physical therapy because I move quickly. I am an athlete and it takes me so long to get through. And you guys are so gentle with the fact that you praise every little thing when I'm so hard on myself. It's like, okay, well, I have made improvements. I mean, you guys change lives. You really do. So it's pretty special.
And
so,
definitely, I totally agree with that. And that's such a fulfilling thing, like to know that, you actually help somebody and like to hear them say like, oh my God, you helped me do this. Like that's a joyous thing, and if you could inspire or impact somebody's life in any way, like you're doing something good in this world. And like, that's all I'm about, like just positivity. And it took me a while to even realize that I had potential to get to that level because I was bitter at one point. And like I said, I just had a downward spiral at one point, but I just put things into perspective and had a positive mindset. And yeah, now only way is up from here.
But the best people go through these processes. I mean, you wouldn't have the grit, you wouldn't have the empathy because if you hadn't gone down that spiral. I've gone down terrible spirals, and that, even though at the time it's just horrible and you want to die, you are able to lend that to somebody else and see people, you see pain, you can see things in others that someone else couldn't, that just took the perfect white picket fence academic route. You've been there, you've been to both sides, and I think that makes you better for sure. Also, you're not just working with athletes. You're not just working with people that are more your own kind and more your own age group. You're working with people like when I go to physical therapy, people's in their 80s and 90s with a broken hip, and you're helping them and you're being so gentle. And that takes way more patience.
Definitely. And like I said, it's patience that I didn't even know I had.
Yeah.
And it's crazy to see like just all the different types of people that come in through like the medical field, like the healthcare profession.
Yep.
You totally get a different understanding and perspective of life. And like I said, it's just fulfilling seeing these individuals come through there and be like, yo, I feel better because you did what you did. Especially like today, if I can share a story.
Yeah, please.
A patient that I worked on a couple of days ago, because they're starting to let me do hands-on stuff now.
I noticed. Cool.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool. I did some stuff, I'm getting my feet wet. I tried it out on him a couple of days ago. Today, now that I know a couple more things and they let me deal with a few more patients, straight out of his mouth was just like, hey, you did something different there, huh? Like, I guess. He's all like, it feels a lot better. I like what you did. Like, not that you sucked a couple of days ago, but, that made me feel great. Like,
you realize the healing touch of your hands, and with that knowledge of where to go. Like even when you helped tape up my knee, when the tape came off in the pool, I'm so glad that you had asked your superior to retape my knee so you could watch. I mean, and I did it myself because I had to retape it. It wasn't anything like you guys do. Every single thing takes a special hand. Every single bone, striation of the body, and it's so impressive. So I'm glad you felt accomplished by that guy.
Yeah, thank you.
And then you've got some patients fighting you back like #Nora. Anyway, I shall not remain names, but oh my goodness. I look at some of the patients you deal with that are next to me on the machine. This woman kicked me off the machine. I'm like, Nora, I will be done when I'm done.
You see, like I said, you see all different kinds of patients. You see demanding ones, there's language barrier ones, there's neuropathy ones. Like it's just a bunch of stuff. Like,
yep.
It's crazy.
I had one say under their breath to me the other day, these people don't know anything. Why are we even here? It's a waste of time. Okay. Then you're obviously not getting anything from it, and you're never going to heal, because I said, well, actually, you know what? They're changing my life. So maybe I don't know.
It's crazy because all the dudes there, or everybody there, is like so much more knowledgeable than a lot of the people I even went to school with. It's
Cool.
insane how much I am learning from them alone.
But they're
Like,
coming from all aspects, like Dr. Mike
yeah,
from USC and athletics and all these things.
yeah.
A
Dude,
whole mix.
they're amazing. I love those dudes, man. Shout out to my boys, Max, Manny, Evan, all of you, man. Y'all.
Back to health, Los Angeles. Great place. Very cool. But that's the great thing about college internships and in your case, college residencies, because that's where you really learn. You learn the theory, and obviously you have to know what you know because it's the human body. But still,
Right.
yeah, it's cool
You gotta
to
walk in
recognize
with
that.
confidence too. Like,
Yeah.
you gotta have a lot of confidence, like, to do that. Like, I mean, you have somebody's muscles and attachments in your hands, so
Sure.
like, it's delicate stuff that you're messing with now.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But you stay humble and you're very willing to learn, unlike some of the student therapists that I've seen in the past where
You always have to be
yes,
willing to learn.
absolutely. I mean, you may have
That's
gotten
the first
straight
thing they
A's,
told
but
us in this program. Like, every day is a learning experience.
yeah.
Every day is a learning experience. Even when you get out there in the field, you're gonna have to learn new things because there's always something new.
And technology.
Always.
And you got to keep eating that humble pie as hard as it is.
Yeah.
So,
Very true.
Yeah, and so
and
that
I
is.
know how hard it can be firsthand.
Oh
Bleav
God.
me.
Me too. You and I both. So just back to your weight loss. You had shared with me because I was just like, how do you do it? And as we all know, this is just definite surplus and deficit of calories. You're going to eat the stuff, you got to burn it off. So you had tried, because I'm like, well, how did you do it? Did you do solid cardio? And you had shared that you were playing basketball, but you weren't like on the treadmill or anything like that.
It was pure basketball, really. Like, at one point it was, I just got a lot of cardio in, playing like 5-6 games.
Amazing.
Like, every other night. Like, that was, but then, age caught up to me at one point. So, I had to figure out new ways to stay active, so, I mean, I eventually tried different things. I tried swimming. I tried cycling. And I hate running, but I even tried that, and then I always knew how to lift weights, but never like the proper way, like, form is everything when you're lifting, like, and to target the specific muscle groups and the exact muscle. So, like, you could be doing a workout and totally wrong. You think you're working out the specific muscle, but you're not, right? So yeah, I ended up like focusing on that along with my friend that got me intrigued in this field. He would always be at the gym with me and show me specific moves and things. So, I took it upon myself to keep going and eliminated all fast food. Like, that was out. Soda
That's huge.
was out. Like, as good as McDonald's fries and a Big Mac is, and it is, but we all know it's horrible for you. It's horrible. Like, you don't want to put that in your body, like, especially if you.
But yet you do sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, all that was eliminated, and I had a good group of people around me that like would stay consistent with me working in the gym. Like, and that also helped me stay motivated. And again, just looking back at past pictures and like listening to songs that make me think about how I was back then, like, I just never wanted to go back to that place. So, I stayed consistent and just stayed disciplined and kept going. Like, no matter how tired I am, no matter like what I did, like, I always tried to find 30, 40 minutes, like, to do something active. Like Kobe said, like, it's the things that you don't really want to do that end up making you great.
Absolutely.
So I don't want to work out sometimes, but I do, like, so yeah. And then when this pandemic happened, like, I thought I was gonna go back to that situation. Like, it scared me at one point, like, damn, what am I gonna do? So I did what I hated. I got out of my comfort zone. I ended up running more. Like, I hate running. Like, I literally hate running. I used to run half a mile and be huffing and puffing. Now I'm over here running 3 to 4 miles, waking up at 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning just to get it done before I can go to back to health.
Okay, Rocky, that's awesome.
But yeah, man, it's just a disciplinary factor, man. Like you got to have that beast mode in you, and everybody has it. It's just if you choose to flip that light switch on or not. Like Eric Thomas said, like, you know, I don't know if you listen to him or not, but that's one of my favorite dudes to listen to.
Which one?
Eric Thomas.
Oh, I love Eric Thomas.
Yeah,
he's fantastic.
His beast mode speech, like
that's all he is. He doesn't even come down in tone. He's beast all the way.
Yeah, so
he yells.
You gotta have that beast mode in you, and everybody does have it.
Yep. And it sounds so simple but when you have that extra weight, all you did, even though you did a lot, was eliminate soda, fast food, and move. And paired with those three things was solid discipline. Like Kobe said, doing the hard things, doing the things that others just don't want to do and making yourself do them. And there were many days. And the fact that you said, who wants to get up at 3:30 in the morning, 4 o'clock? Absolutely not. No one. But you also have a lifestyle. You've got a wife, you've got a baby, you've got school. Then you have a job on the side. You pile all that stuff on and it's overwhelming. And then you have a commute. And that right there, easy excuse. Oh, I can't do it. I don't have time. But you make time for it. Like Joe Rogan said, someone had asked him, what if you can't? He said, there's always time. And even myself, if I have travel for jobs or travel for shoots, I am squatting when I brush my teeth, no matter what. I'm squatting in the shower. Maybe a little odd, maybe kinky for some people, but just to burn calories and move. So you did those top three things eliminated half the battle, but it was your testicular fortitude, your mental attitude.
Yeah, it really was. It really was. You know, and like I said, everybody got it. You know, it's just if you choose to flip that switch on or
not. Yep. But how much weight did you lose? And what is your ending point?
Well, like I said, I was at 296. Right now, I'm at 212.
Amazing.
Yeah. So whatever that, like what, 80-something pounds?
Yep. And also with the lifting, you know, we talked about like in the form. You can also make lifting a cardio workout if you do major supersets. Yeah, but like you said, form is so important.
Right. You could definitely incorporate compound workouts, which is definitely a calorie burner. You could do HIIT workouts, incorporate weights with some type of cardio element in it. You know, like there's plenty of things you can do.
And you can do wall push-ups. Like you said, you hate running. I also hate running, but I make myself do it. I can't run right now, but when I'm a sprinter, so I'll do sprint workouts, and then between I'll do push-ups down lower against the wall, different embouchures, things like that. So it sounds like you mix it up a little bit, which is good.
As long as you're keeping your posture straight and you putting your shoulders, but there we go.
Yep, exactly. Thank you, Coach. I appreciate that. Well, I'm really glad that you said that. It makes me happy to say that you had a good group of people surrounding you, because I have had friends who, and even like Oprah Winfrey herself, like in the 90s, she said that, you know, her show is going balls to the wall. She was succeeding like crazy. And when she lost a lot of weight, she lost half of her fan base because she was no longer relatable. So did you find that did you have any friends that maybe were jealous? This happens a lot with women where they'll lose weight and their friends, or it could just be that, oh, you're not fun anymore. You don't go out with us and have margaritas and nachos because they choose to not have that. Was there anybody bringing you down at all?
Not one bit. I know a lot of people, but I would say I only have a small group of friends.
Really?
You know?
I think that's LA in general. A lot of us.
Yeah, exactly. Like, well, like I got my brothers, then I got my friends, and then I got plenty of acquaintances.
And you got your stuffed animals back there on the couch.
Yeah, exactly. Those are the friends. Yeah.
They don't talk back.
Exactly.
That's really good. And so, yeah, that's important, because I feel like, again, back to The Biggest Loser, they're all together. They're all rah, you know, even though they're competing. But a lot of people do have that problem, and I'm glad that you didn't. Right now, you've obviously lost a ton of weight. You look fantastic. What do you do to keep from plateauing, or do you mix it up still with the diets?
Well, during this pandemic, like, it's obviously hard to go to the gym.
You can't.
You can, yeah. So I took it upon myself to invest into some gym equipment. Got me some dumbbells, got some ladders, got some resistant workouts. I mean, I know how to use all this stuff. This is what I went to school for, So yeah, and I just again took it upon myself to like do it here at home. Like I'm doing workouts at 4 a.m, still watching what I eat. But I'm not gonna lie, from time to time, like we discussed earlier, like I do have my cheat days once in a while. Like the other day, I just had some Lucille's barbecue and pigged out on some ribs and some tri-tip. And oh my God, thinking about it right now, it is getting me hungry.
Is it dry rub or wet rub?
Wet rub.
Like ooh, good. Yeah. The Missouri style.
Yep. See?
Yep. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But yeah, so I invested into that, and also like letting my wife know, like, and mother know, like certain things to cook and what not to cook. Like my mom will easily go back to her Filipino ways and end up making some greasy ass. Oh, can I cuss on here?
Absolutely.
Oh, she'll end up making some greasy ass shit.
Some greasy ass shit.
Yeah, and it'll go down from there. So yeah, I definitely gotta be on top of both of them on telling them what to cook sometimes. Or for the most part, on the weekends, I'm always doing the cooking. So
which helps your whole family, and it's a family affair. And you have a child. Now your daughter is going to know exactly, how to eat, and then she's not going to be raised in a circle in a cycle of not knowing.
She knows how to eat now. Like I love the fact that she pretty much eats things that I would have never thought of eating at her age, like onions, garlic, salad, cucumbers, tomatoes, onions. Like I hated all that stuff. Like I just hope she keeps it going.
Your baby's vegan raw. I love it. No, but you're opening her palate to many things, and that's a wonderful thing to introduce. And most adults can't eat those things, so that's fantastic. Yeah. Good, you're helping them. It definitely is a family affair. So, yep, we talked about the cheat days, and I think like for you, your body is now so efficient. Because my mom and I beat ourselves up over it. If we go, oh my God, I had a cheat day, I'm going to die. But your body like knows what to do, and it knows that that's not your usual. And you end up sometimes almost feeling more fit and more lean the day after a cheat day, which absolutely makes no sense. But studies have shown that can actually happen with people that are so efficient and such calorie. I mean, you're a machine. Beast mode, Eric Thomas. You're a calorie burning machine. So you can handle Lucille's. It's the truth.
I didn't know about that study. That's crazy. I got to look into that.
I'll send it to you because I send those studies to my mom when she goes crazy because we're both like that, like perfection.
I feel you. Yeah, I hear you. Yep. I hear you. Yeah, if you could send that to me, that'd be great.
Yeah, because it's a very interesting thing. Gosh, so many great things. How would you just a couple last things? What would you advise people? Number one, income is so extreme. Money is so important when it comes to nutrition. It shouldn't be. And even the fact that you ordered all this fitness equipment, like when I ordered, this is before the pandemic, and then when the pandemic hit, I ordered more weights. I had weights at home. I couldn't get a dumbbell to save my life. Or they had a 20-pound, 100-pound, and then you get a 2-pound. That's all they had available. But wait, you got to wait for 6 months. It's still hard to get. And Walmart, I guess, is the mecca of they're the fastest. I've learned with kettlebells and things like that, FYI. And they have leather covered kettlebells, which is awesome. Then you can drop it. It doesn't make a noise. But it's expensive and you got to budget for it, particularly with nutrition. I mean, you look at wheat bread versus white bread, it's a distinct difference. I mean, Wonder Bread is kind of delicious sometimes, has no nutritional value whatsoever. I mean, even a bag of chips, a Terra chips, which are made from earth vegetables versus Ruffles or Lay's, there's a $2 or $3 difference, and there's less.
You pay for good quality,
and they pump air into it.
Yep. You pay for good quality, and it sucks. It costs to eat healthy, but I mean, it's possible.
It's a choice.
Yeah, it's a choice. If you think about it, I mean, you shop all produce and eliminate meats. If you choose to go vegetarian, you're pretty much saving a bunch of money. Or if you want to just juice for like a few weeks to do a challenge, that's saving money too. There's other ways to save.
And farmers markets have fresh vegetables. It's just the problem with so many people don't have time because even the act of cutting the vegetables, that's an extra thing. And when you're starving, on the commute home, you don't really want to sit and cut vegetables. Yep.
All right, my little one's right here.
You got to bring her in. I'd love to meet her.
Kenzie, come here. This is my friend Anne.
Hi, oh my gosh, she's just beautiful. Hi, Kenzie. Look at your pretty hair. I heard you like to eat garlic and onions. Aren't those icky? Do you like those? That's awesome. Can I give you a high five through the screen? Good job. Oh, she's so beautiful. I can see why you want to rush home. Very, very cool. Yeah.
Yeah, she's my pride.
Beautiful.
But I'm sorry, what was back to the question? I'm sorry.
Oh, just what would you advise for people that are on a similar journey with similar setbacks, not setbacks, but barriers as far as time, money, with college loans, college bills, a family, a commute? What would be your top advice?
Don't give up. I mean, you could sleep when you're dead. Like,
there you go.
You know, I mean, sleep is nice, and yeah, there's studies that show, you know, get 6 to 8 hours of sleep. But we all know that there's not 24 hours in a day. I mean, there's only 24 hours in a day. Sure. So, I mean, like, just grind, man. Like, make the time. There's 24 hours in a day. Like, make the time. You should be, no excuses. Like, if I could do it, I Bleav anybody can. And we've all heard plenty of stories about people that have done it. So, I mean, you're no different than the other person unless you put that in your head that you are.
Sure.
You know? So just go out and get it.
And that is Egan Jackson's word of advice. Cut the soda, cut the fast food, move every day, and make the beast mode disciplined, conscious choice every day. As hard as it is, do the hard stuff. And that's where you lost and kept it off. That's the biggest success there is on that end.
Thank you, and I appreciate it.
Oh, I hate to see you go next week. We're all gonna be sad, except maybe Nora, because you work her too hard. Anyway, your goals and how can we support you? I would personally like to see you as the doctor of physical therapy lead trainer on the Lakers.
That's where
I see you.
That would be amazing. I mean, sky's the limit, right? Like, there's stars further to the sky. So, you know, I could reach further. But
you have no ceiling. Zero.
But my goals eventually end up working with a sports team, you know, whether it's professional or college D1, you know, possibly become like a certified strength conditioning specialist on top of, like, you know, with my physical therapy license. You know, I would do the whole DPT thing and have considered it, but to do like another 3 years of, and like I took a hiatus from school before I did this. You know, real quick, like I was a high school dropout, you know, and I was a high school dropout, and I didn't decide to. I basically had a fake diploma getting me through until I was like 25. I paid $300 for this fake diploma just to get by and get jobs and
grit. Folks, that is grit mentality right there. Love that.
So I finally woke up and, you know, decided to go get a lot of people don't even know this, so whoever's gonna hear this, like, it's going
cool.
Like, I didn't get my GED until like probably 4 years ago, you know, like, and I was like, kind of like, damn, do I want to do this? Do I want to be a 30-year-old like doing this right now? Like, you know, that's another thing that gave me motivation to try something else and do something different. You know, like, again, step out of your comfort zone. You'll never know what is out there for you unless you go attack it. Like, if you get a no sorry, my light turned off. If you get a no on something or like you think you failed, it's not going to work. So what? Try it again.
There's going. Another route, a different route, and you took it.
Other routes for you. So anyway, I didn't get my GED, and, you know, so therefore when I took this program, I was kind of like, yo, like, what am I doing here? Like, do I really know how to study? Like, I don't know how to get my groove back. I haven't been in school for 10 plus years. Like, you know, I actually failed the program the first time. like the first part of the program, I failed it the first time. But, again, discipline, grit, will, stick fortitude. Like I just put my mind to it and grinded. And of course, the support of my wife, like, I couldn't have done that without her. Like, she basically put us on her back and was like, yo, go get this and make sure you do it though. And if you fuck up, like, that's your ass, what other way to put a fire up in your ass,
She's badass, but she believed in you. She knew what she had in a man. She knew what you were capable of.
That is the rock here, I must say.
I love it. That's such a success story, because you could have been done with the minute you failed. You could have been like, oh, absolutely not. The biggest billionaires fail several times and they still come back on top. So that's the even cooler part of the story that I didn't even know about you. You've got a big, when you become the strength and conditioning coach for some big team, this is a big motivational speech that you could give to colleges, if colleges are in fact still around, whether it be virally, on Zoom, whatever. These kinds of things motivate people. And that story, besides the weight loss and everything else, that changes a million people's lives. I am now motivated. I wish I could run, but I can't. But it makes me more motivated in life in general, just hearing this story, because those of us that have hit rock bottom, I know I have, makes you stronger and better. And again, it's that grit and attitude and the beast mode.
Thank you for having me, Anne. I really appreciate it.
And that was our biggest loser who kept it off and continues to succeed. Student physical therapist and trainer Egan Jackson with his 85-pound weight loss success story. We appreciate you listening, and please subscribe and rate the show on iTunes. You can also listen on Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, Luminary, Tuned In, or at Bleav.com. You can reach out to me for any questions or topics you'd like covered on the show at Anne McDaniels. Please stay tuned in next week for the former NFL player who mentors and coaches football, physical fitness, and lessons for life success with kids. And that's another episode of SoCal.